There's been a lot of talk lately about economic relief programs, and one new initiative that has gained attention is the $2,000 tariff dividend stimulus introduced during the Trump administration. This stimulus is different from the previous rounds of direct payments or economic impact checks that you might be familiar with. Instead of relying on government borrowing or deficit spending, this program uses actual revenue collected from tariffs on imported goods. The idea is to share that revenue directly with eligible Americans to help offset the rising costs many have been facing. As inflation continues to affect everyday essentials, this payment is designed to provide some much-needed financial relief. In this video, we will cover exactly what the tariff dividend stimulus is, how it works, who qualifies for it, and how you can find out if you're eligible. So stay with me as we break down everything in detail. To fully understand this program, we first need to grasp what tariffs are and why they play such an important role in trade and economics. A tariff is a tax imposed by a government on goods imported from other countries. Governments use tariffs as a way to protect domestic industries by making imported products more expensive compared to locally produced items. During President Trump's time in office, tariffs became a central tool in trade policy, especially targeting imports from countries such as China, with the goal of reducing the trade deficit and encouraging American manufacturing. However, while tariffs are intended to protect certain sectors, they also lead to higher prices for consumers because the increased costs on imported goods are often passed down the supply chain and reflected in retail prices. This means Americans might end up paying more for everyday products like clothing, electronics, and groceries. The government collects significant revenue through these tariffs, and the tariff dividend stimulus aims to redistribute a portion of that revenue back to the people who have felt the impact of higher prices firsthand. Unlike traditional stimulus payments, which are generally funded through government borrowing and increase the national debt, the tariff dividend stimulus takes a different approach. It is funded directly from the money collected through tariffs on imported goods. In essence, it acts like a dividend paid out to citizens, similar to how shareholders might receive dividends from a company's profits. This unique setup means the government is essentially returning a share of tariff revenue to eligible taxpayers, helping to ease the financial burden caused by higher import costs. The payment amount can be up to $2,000 per individual, with couples and joint filers potentially receiving double that amount depending on their income. By distributing this money directly, the government hopes to stimulate consumer spending, which can help businesses and support the economy as a whole. It's an innovative idea that ties trade policy revenue directly back to the everyday lives of Americans. The implementation of the tariff dividend stimulus involves several government agencies, primarily the IRS and the Treasury Department. Using tax return data from the previous year, these agencies identify eligible recipients based on specific criteria such as citizenship, residency, age, and income levels. Payments are scheduled to be distributed automatically to qualifying individuals without the need for complex applications, assuming the IRS has the required information on file. For most people, the money will be sent via direct deposit to their bank accounts if this information is already available with the IRS. If not, payments will be sent as checks by mail to the address on file. This program is expected to be a one-time payment initially, but policymakers are discussing the possibility of making the dividend a recurring payment if tariffs continue to be a significant source of government revenue. This system provides a transparent way to return revenue to citizens who are indirectly affected by tariffs and their economic consequences. Eligibility for the tariff dividend stimulus is based on a set of criteria that includes citizenship or legal residency status, age, income levels, and recent tax filings. To qualify, individuals must be U.S. citizens or legal residents aged 18 or older who have filed a federal tax return for the previous year. Income thresholds play a major role in determining eligibility and payment amount. Individuals with an annual income below $75,000 qualify for the full $2,000 payment. Joint filers with combined income below $150,000 may receive up to $4,000. Payments are reduced incrementally for incomes above these thresholds and typically phase out completely at around $100,000 individual income. Special groups, including Social Security recipients, veterans, and people receiving disability benefits, may qualify under additional rules based on their overall income. Dependents, such as children claimed on tax returns, do not receive direct payments but can benefit indirectly if the primary filer receives the dividend. It's important to keep in mind that these criteria can be subject to change as final regulations are released, so staying updated through official government announcements is crucial. Receiving the tariff dividend payment is designed to be as straightforward as possible. The IRS will primarily use the bank information taxpayers have provided on their most recent tax returns to send payments via direct deposit, ensuring a fast and secure transfer of funds. For those who haven't provided banking information or did not file taxes recently, the IRS will mail checks to the last known address on file. To avoid delays or missing payments, individuals should verify that their IRS records are accurate, including their mailing address and banking details. Those who haven't filed tax returns recently may be asked to submit simplified tax forms or alternative documents to claim the stimulus. The IRS is also expected to provide online portals or tools where recipients can check payment status and update their information if necessary. Being proactive and ensuring your information is current with the IRS will help you receive your payment without unnecessary delays. If you want to find out whether you qualify for the $2,000 tariff dividend stimulus, the IRS has set up an official online portal where you can securely check your status. You'll need to provide key personal details such as your social security number, date of birth, and last filed tax year. After submitting this information, the system will inform you whether you are eligible, and if so, provide details about your payment status and estimated delivery date. For those who do not qualify automatically, there may be options to appeal or submit additional documentation. However, it is vital to be cautious of scams. Only use official IRS websites and avoid sharing your sensitive information with unverified third parties. The IRS will never charge a fee for you to receive your stimulus payment, so any requests for payment or personal data outside official channels should be treated with suspicion. One common question many people ask about the $2,000 tariff dividend stimulus is whether this payment is taxable. The good news is that it is not taxable income. This means that you will not owe any federal income tax on the stimulus amount you receive. It is considered a non-taxable payment, similar to some previous relief payments, so it will not increase your tax burden for the year you receive it. Another important topic people often want to know about is the timing of these payments. According to the IRS, they expect to begin distributing the payments within approximately 30 days of the program's official launch. However, this timeline may vary depending on a number of factors, including how quickly the IRS processes applications and payments, as well as differences between states and their respective agencies involved in the distribution. If you did not file a federal tax return last year, you might be wondering how you can receive this stimulus payment. In such cases, the IRS may require you to submit alternative documentation or specific forms to prove your eligibility. They will likely provide further instructions and updates through their official channels, so it's important to stay informed by checking the IRS website or other official sources regularly. Many people also worry about whether receiving the $2,000 tariff dividend stimulus will affect other government benefits they currently receive, such as Social Security, Medicaid, or Supplemental Security Income, SSI. Official guidance from the IRS and relevant agencies has confirmed that this stimulus payment will not negatively impact your eligibility for these programs, nor will it reduce your existing benefits. Finally, if you have more questions or concerns about the tariff dividend stimulus, it is always best to refer to official IRS announcements and websites. You can also consider consulting a trusted tax professional who can provide advice tailored to your individual situation. This will help ensure you get accurate and up-to-date information and avoid potential scams or misinformation. The introduction of the tariff dividend stimulus reflects a novel approach to economic relief by linking trade policy revenues directly to consumer support. For millions of Americans struggling with higher living costs due to inflation and tariffs, this payment provides not only financial relief, but also helps stimulate spending in the economy. When consumers have more money to spend, businesses benefit, which can lead to job creation and economic growth. Additionally, this program may set a precedent for future policies where government revenues from tariffs or other sources could be redistributed more directly to citizens. It highlights an attempt to make trade policy more transparent and equitable, balancing the costs and benefits of tariffs in a way that actively supports the domestic economy.